Hi, this is Lamenter's Jail, and this video is meant to be the ultimate guide on how to defeat Godrick the Grafted at level 1 without any weapon upgrades and without knowing anything about his moveset whatsoever, and without dodging anything at all. So in this first part of the video, I'm going to show you that strategy, the easy strategy, where you just continue to do your part of the strategy without any mind to what he's doing. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to show you how to dodge all of his moves the normal way and how to block them and what's punishable and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, for this first mindless strategy where you just willingly accept all of his attacks straight to your face, you want to use the same equipment and armor that I'm using. You can find all this equipment very easily without progressing past Limgrave at all, and check the description of the video just for a quick guide on how to get everything. It's really easy to do. And then once you have it, it shouldn't take you more than just a couple of tries as long as you're doing the strategy properly to actually defeat him. Golden Vow is important here because it allows you to survive a couple of attacks that he does that would otherwise kill you, such as the I command thee kneel attack where he has a bunch of shockwaves. And the strategy here is pretty much just to get one jumping heavy attack and then two charged heavy attacks as quickly as possible without worrying about what he's doing. You just use endure to make dodging unnecessary. These attacks are going to stagger him and allow you to heal and then get a critical hit. It only takes 2 critical hits and just one more light attack in order to progress into phase 2. And during the phase transition from 1 to 2, he's going to cut off his arm, and while he does this, you can heal yourself and just try to beat on him a little bit with your Morning Star. And then when phase 2 starts, you'll run straight up to him and get 2 safe charged heavy attacks in, and this is most likely going to stagger him again. And this is the first out of 2 staggers that you need to get in phase 2 in order to defeat him fully, as well as just another couple light attacks. He doesn't have that many opportunities to interrupt the script. He does have a couple, but they're easy to avoid, and here's kind of the tips on how to do that. If you stagger him and then you're kind of late to do endure through the Stormcaller that he does after he's staggered and then attacked, that's okay. Just endure anyway right after you're done being stunned, and then do a charged heavy and then continue the script as normal. This is going to be the same for both phase 1 and phase 2. You're just going to deal with it in the same exact way. It will do slightly more damage in phase 2, but not a big deal. In phase 2, endure will allow you to survive the grab attack if he grabs you and you're at full health. So if he does that and you survive, just heal and then continue the script as normal. Or you can dodge it if you just learn that one dodge. It's pretty easy to dodge. And then also for those attacks where he says I command thee kneel, and then he does some shockwaves in phase 1, you can survive this just by using endure, and as long as you have Golden Vow active, you'll survive it, and you can just do a charge heavy afterwards. But in phase 2 there are 3 shockwaves, and the third one will kill you, so you will have to do endure to survive the 2 first shockwaves and do a charged heavy attack, and then immediately heal yourself before he does the third shockwave. It'll hit you and do a whole bunch of damage, but it won't kill you, and then you can just heal again and continue on with the script. So now that you've seen how to defeat him the easy way, I'm going to show you in the second part of the video how to defeat him the normal way. And this is the part you'll have to pay attention to if you're using anything other than endure, pretty much. Your neutral position that you want to be in this fight, or the position that you continue to return to anytime you're not reacting to something else, is in front of Godrick but a little bit of a distance away from him. This is because he can use his Stormcaller attack at any time, which is an AoE around him, and you need to have a little tiny bit of a distance away from him in order to make dodging backwards avoid this attack. His 2 opening moves when the battle starts are the Dragging Slash or the Jumping Slash attacks, and these can both be either blocked or dodged, and then if you're blocking, you can do a guard counter. Sometimes this misses though, so that's why I like to dodge instead and then do a charged heavy. Another super common attack that he uses in both phase 1 and phase 2 is the arm swing combo that he does. It does change a little bit based on if his arm is a dragon's head or just a regular arm, but this is how you react to both versions of the attack. You can block the entire combo in both phases if you want to, as long as you manage your stamina a little bit and only block when he's about to hit you. Or what I prefer to do is dodge to the right twice and try to get behind him as he's doing this, and you can usually do this by his second hit in this combo, and it will completely stop the rest of the combo from even happening. The phase 2 version of this attack has him swinging his dragon arm at you, and on the second dragon arm swing, if you just approach him and just stand right up next to him, it's going to miss you even if you don't dodge or don't do anything else. And in phase 2, he can end this combo with either a grab attack or just a dragon head arm swing, so you'll just have to know that either of these is possible in order to more easily dodge it. And another thing to keep in mind is when he rolls, he's most likely going to transition into this combo, so just be aware of that. He loves to use the Stormcaller attack, which is a big AoE around him. You can't stand near him when he's doing this, and you can't attack him from afar either because this deflects any projectiles. So just dodge backwards and stay kind of away from him until he starts rolling, and then you can walk forwards, and as long as you just walk forwards a little bit as he's like rolling and then up in the air, this attack is going to miss you, so you can just start charging up a couple of charged heavies. I like to try to get 2 charged heavies in, which is easier to do if you start charging the first one while he's still in the air. The other follow-up that he can do after Stormcaller is Stormblade, where he shoots a couple of projectiles at you, and to dodge this you just want to walk to the right a little bit. That will dodge the first one, and then actually dodge the second one with the dodge button. In phase 2, these moves are infused with fire. They do a little bit more damage and are unblockable. The phase 1 version of these moves are blockable. He has another combo that he uses called Fury Swings, where he holds his axe in front of him and then yells and then does 5 really heavy damage axe swings, and this can be blocked if you're using the Barricade Shield Ash of War, but I would much rather, instead of blocking it, just walk around kind of almost to the back of him. And if you just stay in this position as he's doing his little Fury Swing thing, you can get a couple light attacks in after the 2nd and 4th swing, and then after the 5th swing you can do a charged heavy attack, so that's how I like to punish this move. He does have a command shockwave move in both phases. In phase 1 it's only 2 shockwaves, and in phase 2 it's 3 shockwaves. All of these shockwaves can be dodged or jumped over or blocked, but if you're jumping over them, which is what I would recommend you do because you can get a couple of jumping attacks while you're doing that, you have to be a little bit away from him, or in phase 2 you have to be directly right up against him. Otherwise, when he brings his axe down to hit the ground, it could hit you. But in both phases, you'll want to get a couple of jumping attacks in, and then at the end of your jumping attacks, you'll do a final charged heavy, which is totally safe to do because he's just recovering from his attack during that time. He has a few other axe swings that are just like random. He does this close X swing when you're right up against him, and it's really easy to just dodge backwards, wait for him to do the 2nd X swing, and then just do a jumping heavy attack. The jumping slam can be blocked and then guard countered, or you can dodge through it when he lands and then do a charged heavy. And the axe fall attack that he's using right now is only something he uses when you're kind of like a medium distance away from him. You can just walk to the right to avoid it, or you can dodge to the right and get a charged heavy attack. He's got like a slow swing that he uses when you're at a little bit of a distance, and you could just block this or dodge it and then do a charged heavy attack. And he also has this 2-hit combo that he uses after you attack him. You can just dodge the first one, do a light attack, dodge the second one, do a heavy attack. That's pretty much it for phase 1, and when he's transitioning into phase 2, he'll cut off his arm. This does damage you if you're standing right in front of him, so you'll want to kind of circle around to his side in order to avoid that. And just make sure you drink your red flask and just try to punish him a little bit while he's doing this. You won't do that much damage, but it will keep his stagger meter up. And that's good because when phase 2 starts, you'll want to just run straight up to Godrick and do 2 charged heavy attacks. This is safe to do because he's always going to be using this flame spewing attack, and you can just stand right next to him when he does this to dodge it. And those 2 charged heavies are most likely going to break his stance. Then after your critical hit, you can do a jumping heavy attack, which is what I like to do, but this is really unsafe to do because he likes to do Stormcaller after he gets criticaled, and Stormcaller will most likely hit you if he uses it. There's a tiny window of opportunity if you're medium rolling to dodge away from the Stormcaller attack after he gets up from being critical hitted after you do a jumping heavy attack. It's really unreliable, so to make it more reliable, you'll either want to use light rolling or just don't even bother doing a jumping heavy after you get a critical in. Instead, you can just kind of stand back a little bit and wait for him to get up because his recovery after this is pretty fast. In phase 2, he uses a lot of fire breath attacks. One of them is just really close. He points his dragon head at the floor and just breathes at the ground right in front of him. You'll have to retreat in order to dodge this, and then a lot of times he'll transition from that into the sweeping flame breath move, and you'll have to approach him in order to dodge that one. I like to try to get 2 charged heavies in during the sweeping flame attack because usually you have enough time to do this. He also has this striding flame attack that he uses. He just walks forward and breathes fire in front of him. You can just run around to his back in order to punish this a little bit. Just do a couple light attacks, and then when he stops, you can do a charged heavy. But just know that when you are back here, he can still hit you. Sometimes the fire goes behind him, So really it's just luck that determines whether or not you dodge this attack when you're standing behind him. Hopefully you do. And then finally he has this like spewing flame attack where he puts his dragon head up in the air and it just spews a bunch of fire kind of at a medium distance away. If you're close, this won't hit you, so you can just punish him by running up and doing a jumping heavy or a charged heavy or anything like that. Godrick is not parryable, but you can block a lot of his attacks, especially if you have Barricade Shield that allows you to block basically all of his attacks except for if they are fire attacks, because those will still hurt you. And that's basically all the tips I have for all of his moves and how to punish them and dodge them and whatnot. The next part of the video is a couple of clips of me defeating Godrick without getting hit. The first example is me doing it with medium dodge roll, and the second example would be with a shield and doing a lot of blocking and guard counters. I just wanted to show these off because when I'm learning how to fight these guys at level 1, I like to watch other people do it first because it allows me to understand much more easily the flow of the battle and what I should be doing. So really I just hope it helps other people the same way. And yeah, if you want to see more Rune level 1, weapon level 0 guides in the future, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks.
We'll return together to our home. embrace of cold